After writing 2 transformational books myself and supporting many other beings to do the same, I've become enthralled by the deep and mysterious magic that's activated when we choose to say yes to ourselves and commit to the book writing journey. Of course, we want to inspire change and new perspectives in our readers, but the transformation that happens as an author, both throughout the writing process and by actually releasing your book into the world, is surprisingly potent. I know I've been blindsided in the most disruptive and delicious ways by some of the changes my books have brought into my life. Writing a book is like casting a spell. Although we can never be completely sure what's going to be unleashed during the process, we choose to do it anyway. This Unbound one is a heroic journey. Each book has the potential to be a magical portal, a doorway to a new world, both for you and your reader. Each book has a very specific medicine that it's here to share with us. And each book gives us the opportunity to alchemize the magnificent imperfection of our experience into gold. The truth is that anyone can write a book. We could all get a few thousand words down and put them together. But what fascinates me is what happens when we allow the book writing process to go deeper. When we say, fuck it, get naked and dive way down beneath the surface. Letting go of the shoulds and any need to be acceptable, sensible, or approved of. What fascinates me is what happens when we make ourselves fully available to being transformed by the very act of writing a book. This is Unbound Writing, and this is the process we'll be exploring together here in the Unbound Writers Club. I'm Nicola, author and founder of the Unbound Press, and I help magical beings to write the transformational book they're really here to write at this time. I'm your guide here in the Unbound Writers Club, and the aim of this podcast is to help you to feel supported, encouraged, activated as you embark on your book writing journey. Whether you're a first-time author or have many books out in the world, my hope is that you will find something here to inspire you. Let's dive in. Hello, magical one, and welcome to the Unbound Writers Club. How are you? How are you doing? I am sending you so much love in this moment as I am sitting down to record this week's episode. Whenever you are listening to it, I hope you can feel that energy of love and support. And today is a quick one. Well, you know how we roll. My intention is that it's a quick one. And we'll see, because you know, I do like to go off on a tangent. But this week's episode is inspired again by a conversation that we've been having over in the Compelling Confidence program that I'm running right now. Last week, we were focusing on any fears, doubts, resistance that has been bubbling up around our book writing journeys and beginning to alchemize those, which is a key part of the Unbound writing process. And one of the big fears that was coming up, and kind of, even if it wasn't kind of stated explicitly, I feel like this fear runs through a lot of the stuff that can come up around writing our books and expressing ourselves fully and freely. And that fear is one of, it's not safe. Like, it is not safe for me to do this. And of course, that is such a valid fear, because, you know, I talked about this in the Compelling Confidence Q&A session last week. On many levels, it's not safe for us to express ourselves, to share our books, like to share our truth, our unique medicine, our stories in our books. Like, we can't guarantee that it will be safe at all. The world that we live in is, I mean, let's be frank, it's fucked up in so many ways. And for many of us, it hasn't been safe for us to express ourselves throughout our lives. We have received like criticism, ridicule, like anger, disappointment, misunderstanding, at the very least, most likely when we have allowed ourselves to express freely. And to be honest, there is always going to be the potential for that. There is always going to be the potential for that. And for many people in the world, and maybe you as you are listening to this, like, it's not actually physically safe for you to express yourself freely. That is certainly the case for many, many people living in this world. So this issue of safety is huge. We can't completely protect ourselves from loss, from criticism, disappointment. So there's something in realizing, acknowledging that it's never going to feel entirely safe to share our words. So it feels like a bit of a downer, doesn't it? That is not the end of the episode. An invitation that I have made right from the beginning, when I first started holding space for women to write their books in the Unbound Writing Mastermind back in 2018, was like, if we can't create a safe space, because we can't guarantee that we can create a completely safe space for our writing, whether, we're doing that individually or as a group, if somebody's holding space for a group, like, I can't guarantee in the communities that I hold space for that the space is going to be entirely safe. There's no way I can do that. I cannot guarantee your safety. But what we can do is cultivate this idea of a brave space. So I just hit pause as I spoke those words, because I think I've looked before to see like who first came up with this idea of a brave space rather than a safe space. And there's kind of not conflicting. There are different ideas, like different people have spoken about it. So if anybody knows like who was the original person to talk about this idea of a brave space, then please do let me know. But I know the first time like I heard about this concept, it was like, yes, like I can get on board with that. That feels more like human to me. And so the question is, rather than like, how can I create a completely safe space for my writing? Because like, even if you try and hold back as much as you can in what you want to share and like write a book that is going to be like fully approved of and not receive any criticism, it's impossible. Like, that's just impossible, and you would just tie yourself in knots. So rather than coming from that place, asking the question, like, how can I cultivate a brave space for my writing? Like, how can I support myself to be brave, to follow my courageous, creative heart as I write my book? And, for me, this is very much around like having my people around me, having support, having like writing in community, creating in community, because I've seen it over and over again. When we allow ourselves to do that, when we realize we don't have to do this alone, it helps us to be brave, because we see others doing it, like taking that risk of expressing themselves through their words. And it gives us the courage to do the same. And also, if we do receive pushback, if we receive criticism, misunderstanding, if we feel attacked in some way, then we have a space, a supportive space that we can go back to and share and have people who we know have got our backs. But my question to you today is like, what would help you to cultivate a brave space for your writing? And also, like, how does that idea, like shifting away from like having the expectation of a safe space for you, for your book, for your voice, towards a brave space, like how does that shift things for you? So I guess that's the first question, really. And then the second question, like, what do you need to have in place? What do you want to have in place to help you cultivate a brave space for your words, for your voice, for what wants to be expressed through you? And I would be really interested to hear. Like I said, the main one that comes up for me is definitely community. And if that is the case for you, and you're not already in my free Facebook community, Get Book Ready, which is for soul-led, aspiring authors who, want to have people around them on their journey. When I have a space where you can share honestly about what this process is like, then do come and join us over there. If you just search for Get Book Ready on Facebook, you'll find us. If you can't find us, just pop me a DM. On Instagram, I'm at Nicola Humber. I'm Nicola Humber on Facebook. Pop me a message and I'll make sure that we invite you into that space, and we'll also pop the link in the show notes as well. So that's what I have for you this week. It's a simple like invitation to reflect on what a brave space means to you and how you can create that for yourself or begin to create it. It's simple and it's not simple. I get that. There's many, many layers to this. So I would be really, really interested to hear your thoughts. Please do get in touch. Like I said, you can always just pop me a message. I'd be delighted to hear from you. And here's to being brave with our words. Yeah. Here's to sharing what wants to be expressed. Because that's the way the world changes, when we're brave with our words. All right, my love, that's it for now. I will be back again soon for another episode of the Unbound Writers Club. And as we close this episode, again, I am sending you so much love. What do you do when you want to write a book, but the usual approaches are leaving you feeling restricted, pressurized, not at all enough, and pretty dry, to be honest? You find another way, of course. And if you are listening to this, my free unconventional book writing guide is going to be perfect for you. It's designed especially for soul-led coaches, healers, and mentors who want to write a transformational book without spending hours on end chained to a desk. In it, I'm giving you my unique spin on the top 10 questions I hear from would-be authors, and it's going to help you liberate the way you write forever. Download your free copy of the guide now over at nicolahumber.com/10, the number 10, 10 hyphen questions.